Imagine you're playing a massive online multiplayer game with millions of other people. Everything is going great until, one day, half the players decide the game is too hard and want to change the rules. The other half loves the challenge and refuses to budge. Usually, in a centralized world, the game developer decides. But in crypto, there is no single boss. So what happens? The network effectively splits in two. One group goes left, keeping the old rules. The other group goes right, starting a new reality. Both versions of the game now exist simultaneously, but they are no longer compatible. In the world of blockchain, we call this a fork. Today, we're breaking down what a fork actually is, why they happen, and, most importantly, why you might suddenly find free money in your wallet when one occurs. At its simplest, a blockchain is just a shared digital ledger. For it to work, everyone in the network has to agree on the rules. This is called consensus. A fork happens when those rules change, or when the community can no longer agree on the path forward. Think of it like a software update on your phone. Sometimes it's a small patch that fixes a bug. Other times, it's a massive overhaul that changes how the whole phone works. In crypto, we categorize these updates into two main types: soft forks and hard forks. The soft fork. A soft fork is a backward-compatible update. Think of it like Excel. If you have the new version of Excel, you can still open files made in the old version. In a soft fork, the new rules are stricter than the old ones, but they don't break the system. The network stays together, and the majority of participants gradually move to the new standard. It's a gentle evolution, not a split. The hard fork now, a hard fork? That's the dramatic one. A hard fork is not backward compatible. It's a permanent divergence in the blockchain's protocol. If you don't upgrade your software to the new rules, you can't talk to the people who did. When a hard fork is contentious, meaning the community is fighting, the blockchain effectively duplicates. You end up with two separate networks, two separate coins, and two different futures. This isn't just theory. It has shaped the history of crypto. Take Bitcoin in 2017. One group wanted to make blocks bigger to handle more transactions. The other group said, "No, that ruins decentralization." The result? A hard fork. Bitcoin Cash was born. If you controlled the private keys to your Bitcoin at the time of the split, you technically owned coins on both chains. One Bitcoin on the original chain and one Bitcoin Cash on the new one. To many people, it felt like a buy one, get one free sale for the entire world. Then there's Ethereum and the famous DAO hack. After a massive theft, the community voted to undo the hack via a hard fork. Most people moved to the new version, the Ethereum we use today, while a minority chose to preserve the original unaltered history, which we now call Ethereum Classic. If you're a trader or an investor, forks are high-stakes events. Here's why. Free tokens. As we saw with Bitcoin Cash, hard forks often result in new tokens being airdropped to holders of the original chain. Market volatility. Leading up to a major fork, prices usually go crazy. Uncertainty makes people nervous, but it also creates opportunity. Network security. A fork can split the hash power or the validator set. If half the miners or validators leave for a new chain, the original chain might become more vulnerable to attacks. Protocol evolution. Forks are how blockchains get better. Without forks, Bitcoin wouldn't have been able to evolve with upgrades like SegWit and Lightning Network-compatible improvements. And Ethereum wouldn't have been able to upgrade its security and efficiency over time. But it's not all free money and rainbows. Forks cause fragmentation. They split developers, they split liquidity, and they confuse new users. If a chain forks too many times, it loses its network effect. There's also the risk of replay attacks, where a transaction on one chain is maliciously repeated on the other. Because of replay attack risks, many protocols implement replay protection, but it's still wise to be cautious when moving funds immediately after a major split. At the end of the day, a fork is just a blockchain's way of saying, we need to change. Whether it's a smooth soft fork or a messy, dramatic hard fork, these events are what keep the ecosystem alive and competitive. They prove that in crypto, the power belongs to the community, not a central board of directors. Next time you see news about an upcoming fork, don't panic. Check if it's soft or hard, see if you're eligible for new tokens, and remember, you're watching network history split in real time. If this cleared things up for you, drop a comment below. Are you Team Bitcoin or Team Bitcoin Cash? Hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next block. Thanks for watching.